When Andrea Herrick talks about her rescue work, she doesn't count animals, she counts heartbeats. Every saved life, every wagging tail, every puppy curled up in a warm blanket. To Andrea, that's one more heartbeat that made it. She's not the founder of a big-name rescue with a flashy logo or a celebrity ambassador. She doesn't have a massive team or a corporate sponsor. But what she does have is unstoppable drive and a deeply personal reason for doing what she does. In 2011, Andrea's world cracked open. Her Yorkie, Opie James, was attacked and killed at a dog park near her home in Long Island. It was sudden, brutal, and left a hole in her life that nothing could quite fill. "He owned my heart," she said. "I was just devastated." The very next day, a copy of the New York Times showed up in her driveway. She doesn't even subscribe. To this day, she calls it fate. Because inside was an article about Dead Dog Beach in Puerto Rico, a stretch of shoreline known for being a dumping ground for unwanted pets, dogs left behind to fend for themselves, sick, starving, abused, forgotten. She could have read the article and moved on. Most people would have. But Andrea isn't most people, and she joined a rescue group that day. It started with one trip to the island, then two, then many more. Each visit, she saw the same heartbreak. Dogs with ribs showing, cats hiding in fear, entire litters dumped in cardboard boxes. And yet, in the middle of all that suffering, she saw hope. She met independent rescuers doing everything they could with almost nothing. She met families trying to save whoever they could from the streets. And that's what made her realize she could help in a bigger way. In 2017, Andrea launched her own nonprofit, Proud Rescuers of Puerto Rico. Its mission was clear: get animals off the streets, into safety, and eventually into loving homes. But Andrea didn't want a faceless organization. She wanted to build something personal. Every dog and every cat, she knows where they're going. She knows who's picking them up at the airport. She knows who's putting down a bowl of food in their new kitchen. "I'll go to the airport for one kitten," she said. "That's one heartbeat saved." Since then, Proud Rescuers has helped relocate more than 1,000 animals. Some fly with volunteer escorts known as flight angels, often retired police officers or firefighters who step in just to help. Others are driven in vans up the East Coast, sometimes straight to Andrea's driveway, where she's waiting with adopters ready to take them home. She doesn't do it alone. She's built a network of volunteers in Puerto Rico to coordinate rescues, boarding facilities, and vets to stabilize animals in crisis, and some generous donors who keep it all moving. But still, even with that team, much of the day-to-day falls on Andrea. Emails, vet appointments, fundraising, logistics. She's poured her time, her energy, and even her retirement savings into keeping this mission going. And all of it, while battling cancer. In the middle of her rescue work, Andrea was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer. Chemo, appointments, pain, recovery. But she didn't stop, not even close. She kept taking calls, organizing rescues, following up on cases, and not because she was trying to prove something, but because she couldn't walk away. There are over 600,000 dogs and puppies abandoned, abused, or tortured in Puerto Rico, she said. "What I've seen, I can't unsee." One of the rescues that sticks with her is a German shepherd named Roxy. She'd spent her whole life confined in a cage, used for breeding, barely surviving. When Andrea saw the plea for help on social media, she didn't hesitate. Within hours, a volunteer had the dog at a vet, and soon after, Roxy was recovering, fed, bathed, and finally free. But to Andrea, Roxy isn't a standout story. She's just one of many. And that's what makes this mission so overwhelming and so urgent. She hears from locals in Puerto Rico almost daily. Photos, videos, dogs hit by cars, cats dumped in alleyways, litters born behind grocery stores. Each message comes with the same question: can you help? And somehow, Andrea finds a way to say yes, again and again. In April, she hosted a fundraiser in Huntington, New York, screening an episode of a show called Heavy Hitters to raise money for the rescue. Events like that help keep Proud Rescuers running. But it's not enough. Andrea still needs donors, volunteers, fosters, flight escorts, people willing to take a chance on a dog who's never had a warm bed before. On May 26, Andrea rang the bell, the one cancer patients ring when they finish treatment. For most people, that would mark a pause, a breath, a moment to rest. Andrea? She's already planning her next trip to Puerto Rico. I've always been an optimistic person, she said. I try to see the good, I try to wake up with a positive attitude, and I do what I can. She doesn't count animals, she counts heartbeats, and she's not done yet. If Andrea's story moved you, consider donating, fostering, or even just spreading the word about proud rescuers of Puerto Rico. Because behind every rescue is someone who decided that one heartbeat was worth saving. And if you've ever been there for an animal in need, drop your story in the comments, spread the love and support. See you in the next one.